Yo, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another Madden 25 online game. Today we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals, and everybody wants to play with the Eagles now in Madden. You know, first of all, their rating is still kind of low, so everybody feels like, oh, the Eagles are not a cheap team to use. And then what happened on Monday night, everybody's just on the bandwagon right now. I feel like it's a little bit overrated, but I mean, they're 1-0, so I can't really say too much. Until the wheels fall off, they're 1-0, and the Chip Kelly thing is working so far, right? So, and Mike Vick is healthy, you know, as long as that's going on, it's all good in Philadelphia land, you know? And then as far as the Bengals still looked pretty good last week. They just didn't win in the Bears. They had like a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and just blew it. But I mean, they're still a pretty good team. They're still a good bet to win the AFC North, since, especially the way Pittsburgh looked. And then the Baltimore might be weak. You know, they might still be a good bet to win the division, or at least get a wild card. But actually, yeah, let's talk about some week 1 stuff, because this game isn't really that important. It's like an 11-minute long video. We could talk about some week 1 stuff. You see, he scores a touchdown. This game was all offense. There was pretty much no defense played, and when there is a game with a bunch of offense, you know what decides the game is usually, one, the possession battle. Somebody gets an extra possession through 2-minute warning, stuff like that, and whoever gets ball first in the second half, that kind of thing, that could decide the game. And then turnovers will be the second thing. So look for who makes the critical mistake in turning the ball over. Right now, I'm pounding the rock with Giovanni Bernard. I'm trying to get him in the game. I'm just trying to get a balanced attack. I got Josh Johnson into the game because Andy Dalton is just not really worth it in Madden. He's like, you know, you'd rather have the speed quarterback in Josh Johnson. And plus, Andy Dalton like screwed me out of a win already, so I'm not too happy with him. And look at what, this is why I want Josh Johnson in the game. He's able to get that first down. I tried to slide like feet first, but I don't know what the hell I did with the X button. But nonetheless, we get a touchdown here with Gio. But yeah, so the Bears look like decent. They look like they have a decent offensive line. They look like they could put up a fight for the wild card battle in the NFC. But the NFC is stacked, so it's going to be a battle to see if the Bears could do it, since the Packers will most likely win the division. You never know, though. The Packers might slip up. They slipped up in their Super Bowl year. I think the Bears won the division that year, so you never know. You never know. And New England almost lost in Buffalo. That was kind of shocking. I mean, kudos to the Bills. They had E.J. Manuel playing good. They had a simple game plan for E.J. Manuel. They didn't have much read option, just some simple reason stuff for him, and he looked good. He looked good. Whether, you know, the next team they play next week, Carolina, is going to adjust to that, or whether they're going to run more read option stuff with his knee healing up, you never know. It's going to be unpredictable in Buffalo, but it looked promising for E.J. Manuel. Just know that you can't base a season on week 1, because last year in week 1, the Jets blew out the Bills and they finished like 6-10, and Mark Sanchez actually had a good game in that game, you know, so don't base everything on week 1. But the Bills, they might be like a 7-9 team if things go right for them, and E.J. Manuel is like crushed and stuff like that, so you never know in Buffalo. They have a reason to cheer. They actually have a decent quarterback so far. And then a team that doesn't have a decent quarterback might be the Cleveland Browns. You know, Brandon Weeden looked like, it's always every single time with the Browns, whether it was Colt McCoy or Brandon Weeden, the quarterback looked good in the preseason, and then in week 1, you know, you just start blitzing them and they look like ass. But the one thing that pissed me off about the Browns was they barely ran the ball in the second half with Trent Richardson, especially the fourth quarter. They barely did it. And I think that's one of the reasons why they lost. They got their best offensive player not really doing much. So I think the Browns were caught a little bit off guard in week 1, and they could do better because the Dolphins pass rush were just coming in with Wake and all of them. But so I think the Browns have a chance of upsetting the Ravens in week 2. You never know. And I think that dude Mingo is coming back to play. So I don't know. They could win against the Ravens in week 2, but I think they were caught a little bit off guard. The Dolphins, who knows what they could do? They could win against Indy in week 2. They could, you know, get beat badly, but it's probably going to be a close game against Indy, because that's just the way Indy plays. They usually just rely on Andrew Luck to make fourth-quarter comebacks. You know, he did another one against the Raiders, and that's just what Andrew Luck does. That's just the way the Colts season is going to go. How many clutch games can Andrew Luck win? He already has like 8 fourth-quarter comebacks, and his career just started, so the Dolphins look decent, though. They look decent. They didn't look great. You can't judge because it's the Browns, but they look decent. And here, first of all, 2 things happen here. One, Burfict committed a defensive pass interference by not turning around at all for the ball. I don't know, Burfict was just like terrible at his zone coverage in the game. Then 2, he's lucky that Vic overthrew the ball, because I had to pick there with Taylor Mays if he didn't overthrow it. So that was almost a turnover for us. Here, I think Macklin gets injured, and there, That was the turnover. That was one thing we really needed for the turnover battle. But we just straight up dropped it. Next play, though, we force a fumble, but we cannot get it back. I swear I didn't hit a single button when Pac-Man dives on the ground. But nonetheless, he picks up the ball. So that was like 2 or 3 shots at getting the ball there on a turnover. But we just couldn't capitalize. One of them we just dropped. One of them we couldn't pick up the fumble. And the other one was just like a mess there with the overthrow and all that. So that was a lost opportunity that he got 3 points out of. But we're going to halftime here. We get the ball though, so even though we're down 7, we're feeling okay, and we get a good kick return here with Brandon Tate. And then look at this, juke him out the way real quick. Whoop! They made this dude look absolutely silly to get the touchdown there and tie the game. But the Lions look good. I'm not sure if the Vikings are in trouble this season, or the Lions might actually be that good. I might be leaning a little bit more towards the Lions might actually be decent. But they have a big test this week. Whoever they're playing this week, we'll figure out if the Lions are for real or not. The Vikings will also figure out if, you know, they're not for real or not. Because I'm not sure if Adrian Peterson could withstand having like 9 people stay in the box while Christian Ponder can't complete passes in that situation. So I mean, if Christian Ponder doesn't like act like a decent NFL quarterback, the Vikings might be screwed because Peterson might not be able to play Superman the entire season. And then the Jaguars were horrible. There's no doubting that. The Chiefs' real test is week 2 against the Cowboys. If they could beat the Cowboys at home pretty soundly, then that's good for them. And here, 3rd down, he played a yellow. Yellow was not supposed to back up that deep. Didn't expect him to. But nonetheless, good play call by him to get McCoy in the end zone there to take the lead. As we get the ball here, and yeah, so the Jags are ass. But though they might win against the Raiders, I think people are overreacting to Pryor. The Jags might win because Chad Henne might actually be better than Blaine Gabbert, because Gabbert was absolutely terrible. They didn't cross midfield until like the 4th quarter. I think I read on Twitter. So that's bad. And yeah, so I don't know. It's just like the Jadeveon Clowney Bowl right there. The Saints look pretty good, man. The Saints look pretty good. We look pretty good in the running game right now, by the way. But we're dropping the ball here with Gresham. 3rd down and 10. He comes out with 11-man coverage. Like, come on, dude. This dude is thirsty. But we're gonna start with Dot right here to Bernard, only for him to put it on the ground. You know how we do. We always put it on the ground. And we definitely don't recover them. So that's the first turnover of the game on a fumble. We were going to just go tie the game up. Instead, that happened. So that sucks because we're not really playing good defense. And like right now, I'm in like the top 4 percentile on the Xbox Live leaderboards, which I definitely don't need to be. These people are really good in the top 4 percentile, where they got really good offenses. And when I'm fumbling the ball like that, it makes it even worse for the fact that I can't stop them on defense. But moving on, the Saints look good. The Bucks look terrible. So week 2, either the Bucks step it up and actually look like half decent, and they let you look like they're actually a coach team and not like a complete like zoo. But it's either that or the Saints could just pound them and the Bucks might be screwed. That might be a must-win game for the Bucks, even though it's only week 2. It's a division rival and they look terrible in week 1. Somehow lost against the Jets. And yeah, and then this the Falcons also look decent. The one difference though was they didn't win the close games that they won last year. And that's one reason why I think they're going to drop like their record to like 10-6 or 9-7 this year. There's no way you could go like 7-1 in close games again. And the Falcons are already 0-1, so you know. And here we run it with Josh Johnson. This is why he's in the game instead of Dalton. Dalton can't do that, and I'm making sure I don't get hit with the quarterback because I don't want to fumble. As you notice, I've dodged a hit every single time I ran it with Johnson. And we run the ball with Bernard. The run game was good. Everything was good. We just can't stop him on defense and we fumble. Pittsburgh looked terrible. Pittsburgh didn't look great to begin with, but now Pouncey is down and Redmond fumbled the ball once. Their running back situation is a mess. And, you know, they just look like they might not even be as good to be 6-10 as we fumble the ball again. You know how we do. Fumble the ball at a constant rate. The only hit all game I took with Josh Johnson. Fumble. Recovered by him, of course. But, Tennessee might still not be that good, even though they beat Pittsburgh. They might still be like a 7-9 or 6-10 team because who knows how good Jake Locker is. And then Seattle looked dominating on defense. You know, Cam didn't have a great game. Seattle dominating on defense, but Carolina's defense looked pretty dominant too in a way. I mean, they held Seattle to like what 6 points until the 4th quarter, and until Russell Wilson decided to step up. Even though Russell Wilson's numbers look good, they didn't score, and that's all that matters in the NFL, whether they score or not. So you never know. Maybe Seattle is just really, really good. And Carolina could win against the Bills next week. And the St. Louis Rams, I'm pretty sure they're still going to go like 6-10 because of how stacked the NFC is. But if they win close games like they won against the Cardinals, even though it was the Cardinals, they could sneak into 9-7 territory. You never know, and go into that stacked wild card battle. And then Green Bay and San Francisco. Green Bay looked good. San Francisco just looked even better. They look like the team that's willing to go 13-3, and Green Bay is looking like the team that's probably going to go like 12-4, 11-5, or God only knows. They go against the Redskins in week 2. If they lose that game, who knows? But right now, we got an onside kick, so we still have some life in this game. And I'm not talking about the Giants game, by the way. We all saw that game. We don't need to talk about it. And then San Diego just proved they still can't play 4 full quarters of football. And of course, the refs kind of impacted that game with that like dumb penalty on the snapper or something stupid like that. But it still doesn't change the fact that San Diego was willing to choke that game away. And the Texans are probably still going to go like 12-4, even though they kind of screwed up. But here we go, onside kick with 50 seconds left. Cannot get it, unfortunately. And that does it for our little week 1 roundup. That does it for this game, because we're not going to be able to win, because even though we have all of our timeouts, Terrence Newman couldn't make the open field tackle on Brown, and we are out of timeouts, and we end up losing the game. So, you know, it sucks when you lose games because of fumbles. It happens far too often to me, but nonetheless, I hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe for more, and I will catch you guys next time.